Well, breaking news just in. We're hearing Mark Carver is now coming out of the jail right now. So let's go to those live pictures there. You can see, of course, the media scrum, everybody trying to get the first images. There you see Mr. Carver with some sunglasses on, short cut hair, wearing a T-shirt and hugging friends and family, and of course people who fought to get him out of prison. We have reporters out there, and we're hoping he'll answer some questions. Let's just listen in for a moment.
That's right.
Looks like he's getting himself a shirt, a T-shirt to put on.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there might be some kind of a message on there maybe, or just maybe a favorite shirt of his. Almost a decade of incarceration and leading up to his trial where he was convicted and the time in prison, Erica. And now nothing but grins. He knows he'll have to go through another trial, but a judge decided that he deserves another trial.
Mark, what is it?
As we're asking some questions, there's Ken Lemon. Let's listen in.
After 8 years in prison.
Feels great.
You had a long court battle. The DA says that he believes that you are his only living suspect in this case. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I know I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent.
Those first few moments,
Yeah.
when that door opened, how did you feel?
Great. Yeah.
The person who bonded you out was somebody who was exonerated, and he says he thinks that he says he wants to meet and talk with you. Do you know if you're going to speak with him for posting that $100,000 bond that got you out here?
Yeah. I talked to him.
What do you want to say to him?
I thank him. I appreciate it. He knows what I've been through.
This is a small step for you because what you really wanted was to be found innocent. The judge didn't do that. So how does it feel now getting ready for the next leg of what will be more fights in court?
Just take it one step at a time. That's all I can do, one day at a time. Yep.
Did you think this moment would come? I know we
I've
talked to
been
you while
waiting.
you were in. What's that?
I've been waiting.
Did you think it would happen?
Yeah. Just took time.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What would you like the people of North Carolina to know?
It's been hard. It's been rough. Yeah. There's a lot more out there like that. Yeah.
First thing you're going to do, what's the first thing you're going to do now that you're free?
Go see my grandbaby.
You know what you're gonna have for dinner tonight?
Huh?
You know what they're gonna make you for dinner?
Huh?
How's pork chop sound?
Sound good.
Chris, do you mind if we talk to you here too real fast?
Yeah.
Chris,
That's fine. Mark,
You-
you come here, hon.
we have followed this thing, all of his appeals in the state Supreme Court, but the first real traction came when the NC Center for Actual Innocence
here, hon.
got involved. What did you see that made you decide to take this case?
You know, there was a lot of people who were looking at this case before we became involved. We were being contacted by people concerned about the case from this county. So we were waiting for his appeal to be finalized, and when that appeal came down, when there was a very strong dissent on the appeal regarding the touch DNA. And we knew the issues with the state lab and the time it took for them to adopt changes that the rest of the country was adopting. And it was pretty clear that Mark didn't have any defense. And you look at that girl and how strong and vibrant she was. Those were the words the judge used in his order. And you just know that somebody like Neil and Mark, they couldn't have done what the prosecution and law enforcement say they did.
The DA says the minute this order was filed, the order that led to this release, that he was going to begin work on appeal to uphold the conviction. What do you think about that? Is there a chance?
No, I saw him run out of the courtroom. He couldn't wait to get in front of the cameras to say he was going to appeal the conviction. And as I said before, I was really surprised to hear that. At the same time, doesn't surprise me with what the prosecution has done in this case so far. I mean, we saw problems with the case in the beginning, and we actually thought maybe there could have been accidental transference of DNA. And then the more we looked at it, the more we saw. I mean, there was just one problem with the evidence after another, and it doesn't stop with the DNA. It stops. I mean, it goes on to them saying she was wet, and she wasn't wet when she was there. There's no evidence left in this case. All the evidence that was used, that was false evidence used at trial to convict him, has been decimated. There's nothing left.
So That's one question, because the DNA was key in this. Is there enough DNA left that if there's a retrial, that they can test it and use the results in court?
So that's been one of my concerns, is that they would say they can't retest the DNA because there's not anything left. There's ways to get around that, so we're going to fight them making that statement. There are private labs that can test it to show that Mark's DNA was never there. He needs to be proven innocent. We're going to fight it all the way up through the governor's office to make sure he is proven innocent. And again, the attention needs to get away from Mark and onto who's the real murderer in this case.
Yeah, and you did want to say something to the family of Ira Yarmolenko. What is it that you wanted to say to them?
I mean, it's difficult to accept. I know, they didn't want to shake our hands. They didn't want to talk to us. They felt like, we're the evil ones. But we feel for her. It breaks my heart watching the films of her and how full her life was. And solving her murder is important for Mark, but we also feel it's very important for that family.
For her family.
Yeah.
What can make this right now? They thought they had justice with a conviction. Now that's been questioned. That's been new trials. What can make this right for her brother who's listening, and for her family members who thought they had justice?
So this happens with victims' families and wrongful convictions, and there are actually organizations that can work with them. Healing Justice, Jennifer Thompson, from who was a rape victim that misidentified her rapist, now has a nonprofit that helps to reunite or to bring victim families and the wrongfully convicted together so they can both have some healing at the same time. So hoping that the family can eventually get to that point.
And on the other side, what you really wanted was a finding of innocence that the judge wouldn't give. What can make this right now for the Carver family?
I believe the judge could have used the word innocence. I think he wrote a very strong opinion, and it's I was right on that line of innocence. There is no evidence left, and with the pardon, we will seek a pardon through the governor to prove his innocence. But Mr. Bell has to see the reality of the evidence and dismiss the charges first.
Not a complete win, because even as he walks out of here, he's still going to be monitored. GPS monitor on his ankle, still waiting a retrial, still having some restrictions in how he can move and what he can do. How do you feel about this day in the light of that?
We were able, and the district attorney, to his credit, did agree to change it from house arrest to GPS monitoring. So he will be able to go fishing and be outside and have more freedom than he would have had otherwise. When you go from being in a prison cell to out in the sunshine and with your family, you're pretty satisfied with that for quite a while. So I think Mark will be happy with what he's got until we can get the charges dismissed.
Do you want to go fishing? Because fishing got us into this position
Not
the first
right
time.
now.
Do you want to go fishing?
But the people that's in there don't give up. To keep fighting. The people that's in there I done time with. I want to tell them to keep fighting. Don't give up.
Why do you say that?
Because
there are a lot of people who will say that a lot of folks back there who deserve to be there.
yeah, some does and some don't. Yeah.
Mark, do you mind if we see that ankle monitor? Lift that up. So that's what you're going to be attached to for the foreseeable future until retrial or until the judge says something different.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's all right with me. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to hide. Yeah.
Anything else either of you want to say?
No, just thanks for following the story. It's an important story because this is not an exceptional situation. Unfortunately, getting to justice in these cases is a battle that shouldn't have to take place.
All right, you're watching as Mark Carver is being released and still speaking out for others who are locked up, who he says have cases similar to his where they believe they're innocent. Mark Carver was given a life sentence after he was convicted of killing Ira Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko's body was found along the banks of the Catawba River back in 2008. Mark Carver and his cousin happened to be out fishing nearby, and they quickly became suspects in her death. Well, last week, a judge reviewing his case said that testing of the DNA found on Ira Yarmolenko's car was doubtful, and that judge ordered a new trial, and that brings us to where we are today.
We have reached out to Erie Yarmolenko's family. At this point, they don't have any further comment on what's happening today. They knew it was going to happen. Just want to make a note, that blue T-shirt he put on, it said NCCAI. That's the North Carolina Center on Actual Innocence, the group to help to get him out. So that's the first thing he did when he walked out the door.
And we have covered this case for you for years. We will continue that coverage ahead on Eyewitness News.